The image is familiar. A darkened room, a single light illuminating a figure strapped to a machine. Wires snake out, measuring every tremor, every beat of sweat. Can we really tell if someone is lying just by watching their body react? The polygraph test, often called a lie detector, promises to do just that. But how does this seemingly magical device actually work? It relies on the idea that deception triggers physiological changes. The polygraph amplifies these responses, charting them for trained examiners to interpret. However, its accuracy and ethical implications remain hotly debated. Imagine yourself facing a polygraph test. You're seated in a chair connected to sensors that resemble medical equipment. The examiner, a stern figure, asks a series of questions, some neutral, like, "Is your name John Doe?" and others designed to elicit an emotional response such as, "Did you steal the money?" Throughout the questioning, your every physiological twitch is being meticulously recorded. The test typically begins with a pre-test interview. Here, the examiner aims to establish a baseline of your physiological responses. They'll explain the procedure, emphasizing the machine's accuracy to potentially increase anxiety in a deceptive individual. This interview is crucial, as it helps distinguish nervousness from actual signs of lying. The questions themselves are carefully worded, often repeated in different formats to gauge consistency in your responses. Control questions, unrelated to the specific issue at hand, are interspersed to measure your reaction to potentially stressful situations. After the test, the examiner analyzes the data, comparing your physiological responses to different types of questions. Significant deviations from your baseline, particularly during relevant questions, might raise red flags. However, interpreting these results is more art than science, relying heavily on the examiner's experience and subjective judgment. The quest to develop a reliable lie detector has a long and winding history. Early attempts often involved bizarre and unreliable methods, ranging from analyzing handwriting to measuring a suspect's pulse while being interrogated. The first iteration of the modern polygraph emerged in the early 20th century. William Marston, a Harvard psychologist, developed a device that measured blood pressure changes to detect deception. Marston's invention, though rudimentary, laid the groundwork for future developments in the field. John Larson, a police officer and physiologist, built upon Marston's work, adding respiration rate to the equation. Larson's polygraph, first used in law enforcement in the 1920s, marked a significant step forward in physiological deception detection. Over the decades, the technology evolved. Galvanic skin response, a measure of sweat gland activity, was incorporated, adding another layer of physiological data. However, despite technological advancements, the fundamental premise remained the same, that lying triggers measurable physiological changes. Section 4. The Science of Stress. At the heart of the polygraph test lies a simple premise. Lying induces stress. This stress manifests in observable physiological changes. Our sympathetic nervous system triggers a cascade of reactions. The polygraph measures respiration, heart rate, and GSR. Shallow, rapid breathing can indicate stress. Pneumographs detect fluctuations in breathing patterns. Increased heart rate is another sign of stress. The blood pressure cuff monitors pulse and pressure. Galvanic skin response, or GSR, measures sweat-induced conductivity changes. Increased GSR might suggest anxiety or stress. These responses are not exclusive to lying. Nervousness, fear, or excitement can trigger similar reactions. The examiner's role is crucial in interpreting the data. Section 5. Polygraphs in action. Despite ongoing controversies, polygraph tests continue to be used in a variety of settings, albeit with varying degrees of acceptance. Law enforcement agencies might employ them during criminal investigations, though their admissibility in court varies widely. The results of a polygraph test are rarely admissible as direct evidence of guilt or innocence. However, they can be used as an investigative tool to gather information, corroborate evidence, or even persuade a suspect to confess. In some countries, polygraphs are used in security screenings for government jobs or to assess the trustworthiness of potential employees. However, this practice is widely criticized due to concerns about accuracy, privacy, and potential discrimination. Beyond these formal settings, polygraph tests have also found their way into popular culture. Talk shows feature them as a tool to expose secrets or determine the veracity of outlandish claims. While often presented as entertainment, such uses raise ethical questions about the public spectacle of a technology with significant limitations.